progress.
Good day, everyone. So glad that you are here. I see some of you have sent your robots and your AI to join you for today's call. So for those of you who had a competing priority, I am so glad that you sent your AI to be here so that you can listen and hear what we're doing and what we're up to. The time is now 11:31. I saw you all running into the waiting room early. So I want to just say I'm grateful that you are here. So today, usually I have, these long and laborious openings, but we're working with a 25-minute call today. And so I'm challenging myself to give you a power-packed time of information, keep you on time, add value, and hear about what we can do to support you as you grow and expand and achieve your success goals this year. So with that being said, we are at 11:31. So I'm going to ask my team to just be sure that we are recording so that we can keep this session for our queue. I'm going to also ask my team to be sure that you are keeping an eye out in the waiting room as our guests are still coming in. We know how it is. Sometimes with Zoom, it opens up immediately and it surprises you. And then there are other times where Zooms keeps you for a little bit. So if you all can just indulge me for about 15 seconds while I woosah and center myself to be able to give you the best of what we have today. I am grateful and I'm excited and enthusiastic to see such a robust number of education experts and administrators who have joined us today. We know how busy it is when you are in education. So to stop and to pause and to see what we're doing at Grow with Snow, please know that I do not take it for granted. We've created this new system that we identify as Unbreakable Leadership Trends and Connections to let you know that we see you and we hear what you are up against as you meet your success goals. We wanted this conversation to feel like a round table chat, and we wanted to be able to also hear what you are up against. Now, with that being said, we're going to just go right ahead and go to work. Nancy, could you please go to the next slide? We've got just a quick agenda here today where we have a brief introduction about Grow with Snows and my background. But for those of you who don't know, we're going to talk about building confidence, engaging your audience, and then we're going to ask to connect for you to share what you need. All right. So let's go ahead and move forward. For those of you who don't know, I do identify myself as the coach making connections. And so some areas that you want to consider for us is our speakers bureau, our philanthropic, easy for me to say, outreach, resources and referrals. And some of you were not aware that not only do we now have 10 years of business experience prior to becoming Grow with Snow and the Coach Making Connections, we have 20 years in human resource experience working in training and development and organizational leaderships. I've worked at companies as big as Aramark and Merck. And then finally, we have over 30 years of experience as a speaker, host, organizer. All right. Now, Nancy, let's move forward. If we're going to talk about how we have unbreakable leadership, we cannot have that conversation without discussing building confidence. And in that, we're going to address building confidence, confidence building through news, trends, strategies, or new techniques. Let's move forward. So now I can pause. Whew. I had myself on a marathon to make sure that we stayed on time. Now I can actually breathe and we can get into the meat of the conversation. And I've got a couple of guests that I want you to meet. So in the education system, whether you're working in K through 12, whether you are in colleges and universities, there are some urgent matters that we are aware of that you are competing with every single day because the generation has changed. The students have changed, and the mindsets of your community and client, which are students and parents, has certainly changed. And I'm sure that many of you have noticed that there is a huge shift in the students and the families losing some of their skill sets in empathy. Once upon a time, you would be able to feel a heartbeat to heartbeat. When I cried, you cried. When I was happy, you were happy. When I was sad, you were sad. But those days are not as intense as they once were. And we want to get into the why in just a moment. With empathy, we're also losing the opportunity to be compassionate. I watched on the news last night of a terrible house fire, which we're seeing a lot of that recently. And there were people that appeared to be over 40 years old, over 50 years old, over 60 years old, because the house fire happened during the day. And they showed the people on the street on the camera. And these adults, these pop-pops, nanas, aunties, and uncles all had out a phone, right? And so why am I bringing this up? Again, we're talking about, we understand in building unbreakable leaderships in your schools and institutions, you are up against some serious challenges that we want to be able to help you with. And so for the first response to be, hey, there's a fire, someone may be hurt, let me break out my phone and record it live on Facebook and let everybody see what we're doing. Clearly the time has changed, right? Where is the heart of the matter to say, is anybody hurt before I go showcasing this to the world as if I'm a news station? Some of the other challenges that we know that you are facing in the education community is that because there's such rapid fire information, there's just a plethora of information online, sometimes your younger population are losing some of their ability to have long-term vision, right? Like, what does it mean for me as a student to be successful in 25 years, right? We all know that when we were young, we never thought that we would see the day of Flintstones, because most of us are over a certain age. So if I can just play with you for just 2 minutes, does anybody here remember the day of the Jetsons? Do you remember when you thought you would never see, I see you, Ellen, right? You never thought you would see the day of flying cars, and now we're seeing them happen in other countries. You can actually deposit a check on your phone. You can call somebody and see their face 24 hours a day. There's just so much information coming at our younger population that they are perhaps struggling with long vision, that the decisions that I make today may be hurtful to me or helpful to me in 20 to 25 years. I'm going to do a video to show you about the false narratives that you're competing with as education leaders, as subject matter experts. Now, please understand that I know that I am preaching to the choir, but I want to just ratify your attention for just a second today about these false narratives. You, as leaders and education experts, are really under rapid fire because the false narratives are speaking to your students, speaking to your communities, and speaking to your parents in a way that you can't, because false narratives are showing up each and every day on their phones, on their devices, in their community conversations. And I'm not just talking about, for those of you who are over a certain age, when we would sit by the pool, or we would sit with our friends and make up stories about life, right? We would just exaggerate from heart to heart. But now you have people who are going on video showing visualizations and telling stories with passion that are just simply not true. So how do we combat with false narratives? The other piece that I want to take a quick moment on, because my time is running short, we literally have 15 minutes left in this call. You're working with a community that is unafraid, right? Gone are the days where suspension or even an arrest would be frightening for some of your students, right? They have seen their families go through that. So the part of being fearful isn't necessarily there as well, right? The consequences of behaviors that is not necessarily something that motivates your population to good behavior. And I'll wrap this up quickly by saying that as education experts, leaders, mentors, and guides, for the first time ever, one of your biggest threats on a consistent basis, day in and day out, is the fact that your students have access to the ability to commit fraud, to scam, and it's normalized in some communities. And this is not a Black thing. This is not a brown thing. This is not a white thing. This is not a poor thing, and this is not a rich thing. This is a culture thing, because we are finding people from every community and every background who are finding comfort in scam and fraud because it's easy, it's fast, and it's exciting, right? So back in the days, what most of people were competing with was the drug game, right? You know, you were either Nancy, can you bring the screen back? You were either in the drug game, you were trying to figure out the drug game, but now you're dealing with technology being one of the proponents that you all are competing with. And so in my last point, because we want to make sure we get you out of here in the next 13 minutes, is with having to compete with lack of empathy, compassion, the ability to have students to think long-term, false narratives, being unafraid, scam, fraud culture, because of AI, because of digital marketing, and finally, everything costs more. Everything costs more. Maybe I didn't say that. Everything costs more, Ellen. I remember a burger was 99 cents, right? If you go to McDonald's nowadays, you're going to pay at least $9.95 for a sandwich and fries and a soda. And so that ultimately is causing our population to experience burnout in a way that presents unfathomable numbers. And so now that I have kind of shed the light on understanding what you all are competing with, Nancy, let's go to the next slide. I want to have some fun and let you see it out loud. So can we play the video? And we won't play the whole thing, maybe about a minute and a half of it. And I don't hear it. Is it just me? I don't hear it.
Using EBT. So if you have EBT and you want a farm, then watch this video. If you don't have EBT and you don't wish to acquire by having a farm, don't watch the video. Even though I know you're still watching because you're going to get up here and complain. We know how y'all do. But this is for the ones who want a farm. So I had so many hateful comments like, oh, you're such a disgrace, you're such a welfare queen, and you're teaching everybody how to use the system and blah, blah, this and that. Oh, gosh, really? Do you think I would get on this app and do anything that I'm not allowed to do? All right, first things first is you will look on your state's Adopt a Lot website. That's one of the ways. So do you know how there's so many abandoned properties and abandoned lots? Well, depending on your state, they are willing to get rid of those. So if you take care of that lot for 2 years and you have proof that you've been taking care of that lot, at the end of the 2 years, you can purchase that land for $50. That's what we have here. It's called Adopt a Lot. Google it for your area. I do not live in y'all states. I live in Alabama, so I can tell you what it's called in my state. You have to do some of the work yourself in Google for your state. Once you have your lots, okay, there are so many programs out there to help low-income families get a home. What I didn't go through any of those programs. I just got my credit together, and at the time when I purchased my main house, I was only making like $13 an hour as a police officer. Yeah, I know. But I know here, the Salvation Army has programs here that help first-time homeowners, and they don't even have to put any money down. I didn't go through a program, but I didn't have to put any money down on my house. I actually got money back, which was cool because I used that money to purchase things like for the farm, like the fence and all that, the cattle fencing. Or what you can do is get a tiny home. I have this tiny home, and I believe this one was like 10,000, 9,000, and you can build it however you want to build it, right? This will be a better option for some, and they have some that have upstairs and downstairs. And I think the lowest payment you'll be paying is probably like 100 and something or 200 a month for a home. That's not bad, right? And you can put it on your lot. So here's when the EBT part comes in. Let me show you. All of your fruit trees, all of your seeds, all of your plants, all of these things, this is what you're going to use your EBT for. You're going to purchase all these plants. Like the potatoes, this is potatoes. The potatoes that's growing in this bin right here, they came from a bag of grocery store potatoes. You let them grow eyes on it, and you throw them in the dirt, and you're going to grow a ton more. There go a ladybug. Beans. You grow beans. These, I don't buy the seed packs for beans. I just buy $1 big bag of beans, throw them in some dirt, and you're going to grow more beans. These leeks, I got these in the produce section of the grocery store, and I put the bottom parts in the soil after I ate the leeks. And now look at all these are about to be seeds. I'm about to have a lifetime supply of.
So I wanted to just share with you all a real live example to further demonstrate that we at Grow with Snow, who focus on professional development and helping your students and your staff find ways to thrive and to grow in careers and business, I wanted you to be clear that there is so much competing priorities of content that this is something that all administrators should begin to be a bit more thoughtful about. Now, my job today is not to say whether the young lady was right or wrong or good or bad. This wasn't a judgment on her. This was saying if you all are pushing your students to finish school, to get good credit, to learn how to save and invest, to be productive citizens, but yet the internet is encouraging your students, hey, just use your family's food SNAP assistance and have a farm, right? And there's so much even missing in that conversation. Where are the legal paperwork? Where is your zoning information? It's illegal to sell food from your EB. There's so much missing here that I wanted to point out. So let's move a little bit further, Nancy, to the next part of the conversation so that we can bring on our two guests. We have a highly driven community of professionals that are subject matter experts, thought leaders, business owners, founders, and beyond. Most of our geographic market is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the state of Delaware, New York, and the state of Jersey. And so I want to give first founder and executive Ellen Fisher of Young Entrepreneurs in the Academy, who is one of our affiliates that we support who are serving students just outside of Philadelphia in the Villanova area and beyond. And Ellen, what I like to do is give you no more than 2 minutes to introduce yourself to the audience and to share, if you can, in such a short amount of time, one trend that you're seeing and addressing within your student population. Everyone, this is Ellen Fisher.
Hi. Welcome, everybody. What an interesting group you've put together, Michelle. So what we do is we teach middle school and high school students how to start and run their own business or nonprofit in the space of a year-long after-school program. What we have seen, we just had our 10th graduation. We had our 10th class. We've had more wins in the national competition than anyone else in the country. But it's been an absolutely fascinating journey. And every year you think that as a teacher, oh, I have my curriculum, I know what I'm doing, and then we're faced with new things. What I have found as a trend is that very smart children know nothing about money. They can't even write or say money correctly. There's some big challenges there. And also the critical thinking piece of understanding that failure is part of success and that they actually have to do something. The interesting trend that we noticed this year was that we had more students that were inventing products than ever before. But what was interesting about it was they didn't actually have the skills to make those things. So they were, hiring out to have other people make those things. So it's an interesting, at first our reaction was, oh my gosh, they're sort of lazy, whatever. And then later on, we started wondering whether they were the smart entrepreneurs in getting other people to actually do whatever they were looking to do better. But, I think the future is bright. I still think the future is bright. We always complain about the next generation not being this or that, but we see very positive things and people interested in changing and investing their time in making change for the better, whether it's in business or society in general. Michelle, you're on mute.
That was really powerful. Thank you so much for presenting that. Ellen, if you could please put your contact information in the chat, that would be really awesome. And as a reminder, Ellen is working and serving a high school population. She provides investment opportunities. She introduces the children to millionaires and billionaires, and it's a year-long cohort. I'm going to bring next up in the next 2 minutes Principal Beretta Massey, who we've had the opportunity to work with both her students and her staff. So the feature, Dr. Massey, if you could please introduce yourself and say hi and give us some insight as to what you are experiencing with your student population.
Hello, everyone. My name is, as Michelle said, Beretta Massey. I am currently a principal at a K-8 school in Philadelphia. And I would hate to have to second the majority of what Ellen said. But as a first a teacher of students in science in the middle school classroom, and then moving into being a principal of what is considered a community school in my neighborhood, we have experienced some of the same things where students have this want to learn and know more about technology, science, farming, entrepreneurial interests, agriculture, but the background knowledge, understanding, and skill that is needed to for these things to be sustainable, not only in the school building community and in their own lives, is lacking. But I'm also noticing the trend in just their own small communities and households as well. I'm thinking right now of a family whose mom is, working a lot of jobs and things like that, and she has the want to be an entrepreneur. And she makes her own soaps and her own, oils and skincare and things like that. But just the skill and understanding of the business part of it, the need that things that you're going to need to make sure that your entrepreneurial paperwork and all that stuff is taken care of, they just don't have. So, the trend really that I appreciate is the kids want more, families want more, they want to do more, they want to be involved in more. But they just, that whole piece about how do I do this? What do I do next? What are our next steps? And who's there to help is lacking. But I'm appreciative to be able to be a part of something like this so that I can help move them forward.
Excellent, excellent. Miss Massey, thank you so much. You all had to jam a lot of content in just 2 minutes at the closing. This was our first one, so we will definitely improve on the time management. But I wanted you all to be very clear that we love providing. Nancy, go to the next slide, please. We love providing you with support, but I wanted to really push home in a very edgy way that we understand that your problems are not, or that the problems that you all are facing in the education community are not surface, and that they require some real thoughtful, creative approaches to be able to help the students continue to be sustained. I'm grateful that almost everyone here has experienced us in a very real and live way, but we thought that today this conversation continues to shine the spotlight on we see you, we hear you, and let's cross share. So now that we are officially 1 minute over our time, I will ask you all to please put your contact information in the chat. And I will continue to find a way to thread us together, because Ellen is always looking to work with Philadelphia students. She's always looking to work with leaders because she likes to cross share her community. Miss Massey, who is out there in the West Philadelphia area, always has opportunities for volunteers. And I can't see everyone who is here today, but I do want to thank you all for being here and listening in. I will be asking you for feedback and recommendations as this program that we've implemented with Unbreakable Leadership Trends will be at the end of every month for 30 minutes per industry. So God bless you. You all were first. The next group that's coming on in 3 minutes is the corporate industry, as well as the government industry. So as a reminder, in our last 1 minute, please remember to contact Grow with Snow, because we have referrals to assist you in your goals. You can go back one more slide, Nancy. We have resources to help you with your referrals. We have subject matter experts, speakers, consultants, and ultimately, because we're tied to a 501c3 nonprofit as our partner for your career days and your special events, we also have volunteers to be able to help you to meet the goal. Please go into the comment section and copy and paste those contact information that you're seeing. Nancy, let's go to the last slide. We've got about 22 seconds to end this. Please don't forget that we also have, please don't forget that we also have physical locations to support you. We have over 12 locations that have meeting space. We have the nonprofit organization. Just remember to please ask for it. For those of you who are joining the call now, stand by. Your meeting starts in 2 minutes. So all of our education community, God bless you. Thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. You can log off. Thank you. All right, so those of you who are joining on time, I might add, from our government as well as our procurement community, I am ecstatic to see you. Thank you so much to our small businesses that are hanging out in the background from Grow with Snow community. Of course, you are welcome to remain on the line. Some of you were late to the first session, so you'll be able to catch it for this next session live here. I'm happy to have you. I'm glad that you are serious about finding out what are new trends and information. You've joined the call early. The time is now 11:59, and we will be starting shortly. All right, everyone, hold tight. Nancy, we're going to take a 30-second break, and we'll be right back. Hold tight, everybody. We'll be right back. All right, here we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am grateful and glad to see you here today. And thank you for those of you who have joined on time. You are in store for a power packed conversation. And the good news is that we already hosted our very first session with the education community. And just to give you a little bit of insight for those of you who are just checking in, we are implementing on last Wednesdays of the month over your lunch break between 11:30 and 12:33 conversations with three communities. The first conversation is with the education community, and the 12 o'clock conversation is with you. For those of you who are in procurement or you're in government, we brought you here today to be able to engage you so that you can find out how we can be of a source to you to provide you with leads for vendors or partners, and also for you to invite us in for your training and development. Also here today are added value partners, such as financial institutions. So thank you to our added value partners as well. We placed you here today because we want you to know that we see you and understand your needs as well. And so we're going to get ready to go ahead and go to work. So with that being said, Miss Nancy, let's go ahead and share your screen and bring our PowerPoint back up here today. I'm really excited. I'm seeing our procurement experts who are joining us today. I'm going to give us about 12 seconds while the Zoom updates and allows our procurement professionals to get into the room and see what we're doing. We're in for quite a ride. These conversations are approximately 25 minutes. We wanted to be able to burst through your day really quickly and then to jump out. So if you all can just give me a few seconds to center myself. Nancy, I believe that we're already recording. I am grateful. I am excited and enthusiastic that you all would choose Grow with Snow today to join in this conversation, to provide your feedback, and to perhaps even showcase your work and what you're doing. Unbreakable leadership trends and connections is our topic today because as you grow and thrive and make connections with your customers and community partners and clients, we want you to know that we are sensitive about some of the challenges that you are up against. Let's go to the next slide, Nancy. We have a very quick, brief agenda today. We're going to remind you of a little bit about my experience. We're going to talk about building confidence, introduce you to today's feature, and I want you to ask for what kind of support that you're looking for. So let's move forward, Nancy. For those of you that don't know my background, of course, I identify on these streets as the coach making connections. I do identify as a business coach. Long ago, I did identify as career coach on duty, but the brand has evolved, my experience has evolved, and I've decided to be more niche focused. And so with that being said, some of you may not be aware that you can go back, Nancy. You may not be aware of some of the resources that you can use when it comes to working with Grow with Snow. Please be mindful that we can support you with a speakers bureau because we're loaded with subject matter experts. We have philanthropic outreach because we're tied to a nonprofit organization, and certainly, and if I didn't say it, certainly most people know us because we are the ones who can help you connect with people, divisions, teams, departments. We got a call literally today. I believe it might have been about 6:52 a.m. We got a call and someone said, I'm experiencing some grief in my family, Michelle, and we have someone that's a high potential leader. Can you help? And we jumped on a call and we're already working out some solutions. So that coach making connections is very, very, very real. Some of you may not also know that we're now 10 years into business and that my background is 20 years in human resources and training and development and organizational leadership, and that as the founder, I do have 30 years plus as a speaker, host, organizer. Let's move forward, Nancy. So today we're going to provide you with some insight and some tips about, we know what you all are competing with as you support your workplace, as you interface with potential clients and leads. We know what you're up against. So let's talk about it, Nancy. Let's move forward. The first is that there are some urgent matters that we as the working class, the business class, are up against that other generations have never seen. Some of the urgent matters that we are up against in our community is that we are working, excuse me for playing with my hair, but I've got my hair down. So I don't want you to think I'm just playing in my hair. I'm trying to get it out of my face. Some of the challenges that we are facing as leaders, whether we're in procurement or we're out here in government, is that we're working with a clientele, we're working with a population who may be losing their ability to be empathic, to have empathy, and to have compassion. And how this impacts you is that we are seeing citizens do some of the most outrageous things in the name of getting results. I watched a video, and I wish that I had prepared it. It just came to me on this call. I watched a video yesterday of a female who was at a bank and depositing a check, and she wanted a withdrawal. What she was not aware of is that, according to this internet clip, that the account was overdrawn, and when she made the deposit was gone because it went to the back overdrawn fees. And so I'm sure there are people on this call who have seen that or experienced it yourself, like, oh my gosh, I wasn't prepared for that. And so the response in the past was to be upset. Can I see a manager? I'm frustrated. Well, what happened? Well, can you give me the check back, right? There are a lot of responses that you or someone has probably had to a situation like that. Well, this particular customer decided to jump over the counter, jump over the glass window, and confront the teller and literally say, give me my blankety blank money, right? Fortunately, according to this video, this customer didn't physically assault anyone, but psychologically, that had to be absolutely terrifying to watch a customer climb over a glass window to accuse you of stealing money that you don't even have because you're just there working, doing your job. Why am I sharing this example? We as professional development experts who thrive on helping leaders and students and teams to evolve, we cannot dismiss that empathy and compassion is something that our new generation of customers and clients may be experiencing less than in the past. We also want to sound the alarm on the fact that some of our customer base and our communities, they may not have long vision. They are focused on what is happening at the moment, what is exciting now. There was another story where we were told that a family invested, or I should say spent, a lot of money and cash and household income on a prom. And unfortunately, this family lost their residence the next month. Now, there's probably a whole lot of underlying issues to that they probably have been late or not paying rent or not paying mortgage for some time for them to be evicted 30 days later. But my point is that your customer base, your client base, your outreach of community, the mindset are definitely changing. You are also up against a lot of false narratives. There's a lot of media that are telling your customers and clients of all of these cool, trendy, secret ways of getting credit or getting money or getting cards or getting business that may have truth to them in parts, but at whole are completely false. We also want to address the fact that we are aware that you as leaders, as business owners, as procurement officers, you're also up against the fact that your clients and your vendors and your partners, you all have to address a lot of scam and fraud and attack of AI. For those of you who are in banking, every single day, you've got customers and clients who are reaching out to you, reminding you that I need my money back. Someone stole my card. Someone hacked my account. Ultimately, as I end this part of the conversation, because we're only going to be here 25 minutes today, is we are aware that your clients, your partners, your vendors are all experiencing some form of inflation. We teased in the last call. Some of you remember a time, you're old enough to remember a time where you went to McDonald's and you only wanted to spend $2, whether it was your last $2 or you had plenty of money. Your goal was to spend $2, and you could do that. You could get a 99-cent fry, a 99-cent coffee. Well, today, if you're going to a fast food company, you better be prepared to spend at least $10 to eat and to have a drink, right? Everything costs more. I'll end this little session, this little slide piece by saying that I had a taste for a fruit flavored soda yesterday, something I haven't had in years. And I was surprised to know that the bottle was smaller and it cost $2.50, right? Everything costs more. So what I want to wrap this up by saying to you is that because of all of these competing invisible problems, right? Our society, our customers, clients, vendors, partners, colleagues are experiencing severe burnout, and people are tired and frustrated. And let's not mention the fact that not only are we dealing with these issues in the workplace, we have to go home and deal with personal problems as well. Let's move forward, Nancy. And so our job as leading professionals who are in the professional development area, as coaches, as speakers, and those who rally and bring you information and content, we are just driving home the point today that we understand what you're up against. Help us. We want to help you to be able to combat these issues. I want to have some fun and play a little video, maybe about 2 minutes of this video, and then I want to show you why we wanted you to see this. I can't hear it, Nancy.
This is what you do. You find pallets that's on the side of the road, or if you look on Marketplace on Facebook, they're always giving away free pallets. Take the pallets apart, use that wood, nail a couple nails, and boom, there you go. Okay? Let me show you for your water source. I got multiple stock tanks. They're filled up with water from the rain. When the rain hits down, it fills these up, and I have fish in them. I don't know if you can see the fish. We got one that passed away right there, but we're going to bury him somewhere. So the rainwater helps the garden, plus the fish eat the mosquito larvae, so you don't have to worry about having mosquitoes in the area. Another way that the EBT helps is cinnamon keeps away the pests, okay? You get there with your EBT. Use coffee grounds, eggshells, all these things that you can get with your EBT. This will start your farm. Then you go online, find your local office, and then you can register your farm if you want to. If not, then you don't have to. But like I said, there's so many resources out here to get a home and start a farm. Even if you do not have EBT there and you just have low income, there are programs in your state to where you can purchase a home. They will help you, but you have to do your job by Googling this information. I absolutely cannot sit here and research for everyone's city and state. I cannot. I have a ton of things to do on my own farm. Also, if you want animals on your farm, The rabbits, their poop, which I'm about to get the kids, and we're going to scoop all that up, that is fertilizer that can be used in the garden instantly. The rabbits, they're going to eat what you grow in that garden, which you started it all out from seed from your EBT. The chickens are going to be a food source. Plus, you can also use their waste as fertilizer, but not instant.
Stop here, Nancy. And we can go back to the presentation. And so before we got to this slide, we were talking about that we are sensitive to some of the challenges that you are facing as you engage your vendors, your clients, your customer. And so I wanted to show that video because I'm not here to agree or to shame or to justify or to criticize what the woman said. I'm just bringing to your attention that this is what you are up against. This is the kind of information that you are up against. You literally have people out here coming up with all kinds of, let's call them creative conversations to get clicks and likes and to share what people on the street call as game, putting you down with information that they won't say in the mainstream, but it may completely be misaligned, right? This young lady may have had good intention, but as a business owner, as a coach, and you as executives who are dealing with major clients and corporations and vendors, you all understand first and foremost that if we start encouraging this next generation of customers to just go out and use your parents or your auntie or your uncle's SNAP assistance card and start farms, we're going to have a lot of problems like zoning and legal issues. And I mean, the list goes on and on. But I wanted to have some fun and show you something completely outrageous to say that gone are the days where we can look at addressing the problems of our clients and communities in the same old kind of way, right? I want to kind of lift up the skirt and lift up the mask and say that this is what's happening 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is what our community is being fed as the truth. And so it's our job to be courageous enough to be aware of what's being said on the street and to have strategies to compete against it. Let's move forward, Nancy. Excuse me. So I do want you all to know that we have experts from not only the Philadelphia market, which most of you are clear about that. We have experts and partners from Pennsylvania County, state of Delaware, New York, and the state of New Jersey to be able to help you. And so for our banking partners, I'm excited that you're here because we want you to know firsthand that Grow with Snow is working very intentional to be able to present to our community safe places to invest and to save their money and to manage cash flow platforms. We want you as procurement officers to know that we are competing against false narratives and we're preparing and training vendors to do business in an excellent way, but we're not insensitive to what they are hearing and experiencing online. And so I do want to open the floor. You can go to the next slide, Nancy. I do want to open the floor and allow one or two of, go back just one. I wanted to just make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, we're fine. Thank you. Just leave it here for just a moment. I do want to open the floor and give one or two of our business owners 60 seconds to greet you and to say hello. Michelle Vaughn, I didn't prepare you prior to this call, but are you here?
Yes, I'm here, Michelle.
All right, excellent. I'm going to let Michelle Vaughn 1 minute to talk about her business, and then I'm going to close out this section with William Craig, who's going to come on next. All right, Michelle, why don't you say howdy to everyone?
Howdy, everyone. I'm Michelle Vaughn. I'm the founder and owner of Canvas Venue. We're a multi-purpose venue located in the West Philadelphia area. So we are able to host a variety of different events, from corporate workshops to seminars to baby showers and birthday parties. So if you're ever in the area of looking for a particular spot to host your event, we are here to service you for all your event needs and your creative and imaginary inner self.
Excellent. Thank you. And for those of you who have customers and clients who need a professional, legal, safe place to conduct business, that's another reason why I wanted Michelle to say hi. All right. Well, our core feature today is William Craig, who is the owner of, Metro Computers. William Craig, are you able to unmute, and are you going to be on camera? I see you here. William Craig, you've got just a few more seconds. Are you having some difficulty reaching your mute button? I'm going to give you 5 more seconds, and then I'm going to have to move on. All right. So I know he was traveling. He was perhaps he can't get to the phone again. So with that being said, Nancy, let's go ahead to the next slide. I want to remind you all that we are here to help make connections for you. I shared with the last call that we got a message at 6:52 a.m. where an 8-figure business owner in the commercial cleaning industry had a matter that they wanted addressed very quickly. And so at 6:52, I'm emailing and scheduling calls to address issues of how we can help this particular business owner improve some infrastructure, and who are some of our partners and subject matter experts, Michelle, that can assist us quickly, that have good customer care. And I'll end this by saying that we are also aware that many vendors that you all are connected to, that we're connected to, some of them do a whole lot of exaggeration about what they're able to produce until they're pushed on the carpet. And our job is to eliminate some of the false narratives that vendors are speaking about by really checking their background. We take them on our contracts and we see how they perform. What is their customer service? We train them so that they're more effective and prepared and ready to serve you. So please remember that you can reach out to us for referrals. We are your subject matter experts. We have speakers, we have consultants, and I'm really excited because not only do we have these leadership development resources to serve you, your clients, and your communities, don't forget that we're tied to Grow Together Snow Foundation, a nonprofit organization where we volunteer and we go out into the community to support you. And so we do have about 2 minutes left on this call, and I'd like to say hi to someone who's here. I know some of you cannot talk because you're multitasking, but Vince, are you able to unmute before we end today's call?
Hey, Michelle, how are you?
Thank you so much for joining us today, Vince. Would you like to say hello to everyone and introduce who you are, and within maybe 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes to share with us any challenges that you're experiencing in the procurement industry?
You said 2 minutes? That's kind of tough.
Yeah, I know.
Hi,
I'm
everybody.
acting the Superman kind of potential here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Vince Guns. I am a Supply Diversity and Inclusion Manager at Penn Procurement, University of Pennsylvania at Procurement. I'll say the challenges that, to make it very simple, the challenges are multifaceted. From my seat and my perspective as a supplier diversity professional, I'm always looking for diverse businesses to work with, trying to find opportunities throughout the university for people to get plugged into. But the issue is, like, my office doesn't make every purchasing, buying decision. There are a lot of different offices, departments, schools that are across the university, and all these different offices can, kind of make some of their own decisions, of course, following our policies and our practices. But we aren't making every single decision. So that's one of the challenges that I see, that I face, and that I hear from other procurement professionals, supplier diversity professionals in the industry, is that, we can make as many introductions as we, can fit into an engagement. We can, find people. We can make all the suggestions in the world, but I'll say a lot of times we aren't the final decision makers when it comes to procurement. So that's one of the major challenges that I have that we've talked about before.
Well, Vince, I want to thank you for sharing. And so what I learned when we had our one-on-one recently is that as a coach and one who is making these connections and building these bridges and relationships is to help business owners to be more sensitive that there are processes to getting business. And if we could all just jump into a box of money and get contracts, I'm sure you would assist us and make that happen. But there are protocols and processes, and we as business owners have to be patient. We have to get more confident in our paperwork. We have to become more confident in waiting and being able to stay relevant while we wait. So I want to thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. These calls are designed to be 25 minutes. We are approximately 2 minutes over. This was the first of many where we will be addressing your needs and introducing you. Vince, can you drop your contact? Okay, thank you, Vince. Where we will be addressing the issues and the opportunities within your community. I'm grateful that you stopped in. Vince is saying to everyone, someone is saying to Vince, please drop your contact information in the chat. So Vince, whether it's a website or whether it's an email, please drop that in the chat. Everyone else, if you could please drop your contact information in the chat for us to reach out to you. I do want to thank Kaisha Bonaparte, who joined us today. Kaisha is my colleague working in the city of Philadelphia. And I also want to thank Kaisha for being here because she's known me longer than anybody on this call. We met when we were 4 years old, and we're still doing business together. So I do believe in long-lasting, sustainable relationships that are not just warm and fuzzy, but are profitable. So I want to thank you all. I want you to wish you an excellent and amazing day. For those of you who want to hang out, we're going to do this call one more time at 12:30 with our business owners and added value partners. Thank you, everybody. The next call starts at 12:30. Have a wonderful day. Nancy, in the meantime, just leave up the last slide, please. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate your feedback. For those of you who are still here from the last call, this is a reminder that we are building health, building wealth, and building empires. We do have 12 locations to service you if you're looking to have event space. Michelle Vaughn presented one today. I'm going to take a 30-second break to clear my throat and to stretch, and then we're going to do this in about 30 seconds. Nancy, if you could just leave the first slide up, that would be awesome. We can just leave the first slide up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, everybody, give me 30 seconds, and we'll be starting round 3, our final group for the day. Very excited that you're here. Hold tight, everybody. 30 seconds. Welcome to today's session. Thank you for those of you who just joined. You have entered our brand new offer, our new line of service, which we are identifying as Unbreakable Leadership Trends and Connections. Thank you so much for being here today. This is our third session of the day. I'll give you a little bit of background because some of you are still here from the second call or from the first call. We know so many people. We know so many people, which has just turned out to be one of the surprise benefits and blessings to leading Grow with Snow is that we've amassed all of these fantastic relationships. And we've been very creative in 2024 about putting you in the room and making sure that when you get in the room, that the information and the connections and the content is effective and efficient. We're working to be sure we're not wasting your time. And what's most important to me as a leader is that we move away from the culture of just being seen to be seen. I know I'm a spoiled only child, so I love a good photo. I can be a ham at times, but smiling and looking good in photographs is simply not enough. We need to be doing incredible business and uplifting our community in a way that is measurable. And so we've created this new line of service, which is scheduled now on last Wednesdays over your lunch period. At 11:30, we speak to the education community, school administrators and officers and decision makers at K through 12 schools, colleges, and universities. At 12 o'clock, we invest time connecting with our procurement officers, government leadership, and now we want to close the day with you who are added value partners, who are business owners. And what I want to do for just a moment is just check the attendance to see if any of my guests have arrived. All right. Awesome. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to work. For those of you who are staying for round two, awesome. I'm glad that you are here. Thank you for hanging out and seeing more about what we do. For those of you who are joining for the first time, let's go ahead and go to work. Go ahead to the next slide, Nancy, please. So what I want you all to be prepared for today is a brief introduction, a little bit about my background. We're going to talk about building confidence within your communities, your clients, your partnerships. We're going to perhaps have a feature today or hear from some of you who are actually on the line. And we want you to ask for what you are looking for. It will be your turn. So we can move forward, Nancy. Now, many of you were not aware that I do identify myself as the coach making connections. We move from career coach on duty to business coach consulting, in that some of our perks and benefits is that we do have a speakers bureau. We love our philanthropic outreach, and we have a ton of resources and referrals to assist you, whether you are in a corporate setting, a school setting, or a business setting. We can help. Many of you were not aware that I have over 10 years in business leading this company, but prior to starting a business, I was in HR for 20 years in organizational leadership and development. I've worked for companies as big as Aramark and Merck, and 30 years as a host speaker in the community. We can move forward. So today in our conversation, let's get to what building confidence looks like. There is a lot going on in the news and new trends or strategies or techniques. So I want to spend some time going through a list that I'm sure many of you can identify with. So let's move forward, Nancy. Let me look at the chat. Someone is asking a question that I can quickly address. All right. I think it's just a robot talking to me, so I don't have to answer the robot. We know as business owners, added value partners, that you're up against a lot of pressure to find ways to be successful, find ways to be sustained, finding ways to be relevant. I mean, you're under so much incredible pressure as business owners. I mean, your clientele and your customers are experiencing an all-time high in perhaps lack of empathy and lack of compassion, right? We're dealing with a community of clients and partners where people are always on the turn up. Now, I'm of a certain age, so I'm still using words like turn up and lit, but you all are of a certain age too, so you so you all get it. We're also dealing with a lot of people who are not concerned about long-term vision. This is why there's so much violence. This is why people are taking so much risk. I mean, you all are seeing the news where our young people are breaking down doors and stealing in broad daylight, committing acts of violence in broad daylight, right? These are our potential customers and stakeholders who, quite frankly, we're depending on to do business with. You also are up against a lot of false narratives about how to start businesses and keep businesses and maintain your business. There was someone recently on social media that got a lot of fire because this particular influencer was telling everyone, hey, for $200, let me help you start your business. I can get you started today with just $200. Now, as an experienced coach, I didn't even need to see that advertisement because I know there is no way that anybody is starting a successful business with $200 after you pay for the license, your website, your professional address, not your home, your product or your inventory or your brand or your private email address. Baby, we are, listen, okay, and some money in the bank, because if you have a professional bank account, you've got to have a certain amount of money in there so that you're not collecting fees. Woosah, right? You're up against a lot of false narratives and information. And what's, to me, the scariest is that this new population that we're doing business with, they're unafraid, right? The scam culture and the fraud and the attack of AI, it's a big deal, right? This new generation, they have learned how to outsmart systems. They have learned how to shut down restaurant chains. Let's have some fun here because I said this is lunch, learn, and laugh. So let me have some fun with you for a second. I'm sorry. I am struggling to believe that Red Lobster's leadership was so inept that one shrimp deal turned the company upside down, and now they've got to close so many locations. I don't know. Maybe I'm naive, Navisha, right? Maybe I'm naive, Nancy, but I am struggling to believe that one bad shrimp promotion shut down an entire company. Let me just have a few more seconds of fun here because this call is only 25 minutes. First of all, as business owners, if you saw in the inventory, if you saw at the end of the night that your customers were using TikTok and Instagram and other sensational media platforms to showcase how they are beating the system by putting shrimp in boxes, bags, underarms, shoes, backpacks, right? Because it's all you can eat for $20. I don't know about you, but that deal would be shut down, okay? I can say as a business owner, I know I promised you that we were doing it, but we ain't doing that no more, if I could just be really honest with you. So with that being said, Red Lobster wasn't prepared for this new generation to beat the system and find creative ways to obtain massive strength. So much so that the company is out of business in certain locations. Also, when we would go get a little bit more serious for a moment, everything costs more. Everything costs more. I told the last group that I spent $2.50 on a small bottle of pineapple soda because I had a thirst for something from my childhood taste. I was having a nostalgic moment. And so the fact that we are faced with a clientele, a community of potential business people and people who buy from us, and they may not have as much empathy, they may not have compassion, they may not have long vision. There are false narratives, they are unafraid, there's scam, there's fraud culture, there's the attack of AI. And if I can spend just maybe 34 seconds on the attack of AI, they're trying to put some buttons and some holds on AI, but just the fact that people find it amusing to take your face and other bodies and exploit you, to take your voice and to make songs or raps. Thank you, Vince. This is cool. This is just a repeat. So thank you so much. To take songs and to rap and pretend they are you. Like AI, while it is so beautiful and it is saving us a lot of time, there are also dangers and threats that many of us are experiencing. And so with inflation, ultimately what I'm trying to get to in this 25-minute conversation is we are aware that your customers, your clients, your constituents, your stakeholders, that they're facing burnout. They are facing burnout. And so we have to find ways to be thoughtful and to be sensitive so that we can manage the emotions and the stress and the challenges of our clients so that we can thrive in business. Let's move forward, Nancy. And so we've been showing this little video in pieces because we're talking about false narratives and competing information. So we've already played some of this video for the first two. We're not rewinding it, but there's enough on this next section for you to get my point. So hold tight for about 90 seconds. I want to show you something. All right, Nancy, let's get the sound going too.
Then you give them the foods that come out of the garden just like any other animal, okay? And I know a lot of people, they're probably saying, well, how am I going to buy this soil? How am I going to get this soil? Okay, ways to get soil is, first of all, to fill up raised garden beds, you would download or go on chipdrop.com. They will come and drop off logs and wood shavings. You add that to your raised garden beds. Then you would go to Lowe's or Home Depot and purchase the bags that's already open. Those bags will be 50% to 70% off, okay? Those are bags of dirt. It's going to be the ones you get. Do not try to go out there and get anything fancy. Do you see how my greenhouse is just used pallets, but it still looks nice, right? These are pallets that I got off the side of the road. We're going to save money because we're already low income, right? So you save money and use free resources. I hope all that information helped you guys. Again, if you need me to do any videos or showing you how to do anything else, feel free to comment on this post and I will help you out. And for the ones who absolutely can't stand the fact that some people get EBT, that's all right. You're going to be okay. Oh, well, don't lose no sleep about it. I am so happy to help you guys with one EBT card and
So you all caught the tail end of that video, but I wanted to show you that this is what you all are up against. This is what we are up against. We're up against a lot of content and data and information that is that may not be helpful to the big picture. Now, let me pause and say that I am using this video not to shame this young lady, not to criticize this young lady, not to say that she's right or wrong, but to really rally your attention around the fact that there's a lot of data and information out here that doesn't tell full stories. And so while you all are doing your best to provide leadership, to provide quality information, to provide great service, you have this kind of competing content that is contrary to everything that you're doing, right? There are some things that this young lady may have said that may absolutely be true and helpful to some people, but as business owners, we understand that there's a lot that she couldn't tell. She couldn't tell you whether she had a license to resell this stuff. Is she making money legally or illegally? Is the land area zoned for what she's doing, right? Taxes for the land. There's so much that wasn't able to be said there. But again, why did I show this video? I showed this video to say that there's a lot of people who will see this kind of content and just go running like, oh, cool. Now I'm gonna go start a farm, but they don't have full picture. Let's move forward, Nancy. And so what I want to do is take these next maybe 8 minutes or so and hear a little bit about you and some of the challenges that you may be experiencing, and to look at some benchmark strategies to help you win out here in business. So for those of you who are with the Grow With Snow community, thank you for being here. I invited you today so that you can see what we do as a business behind the scenes. But typically this conversation would have been designed for people who I don't currently work with and designed for people who want to find out more about what we do. But I wanted you to be here as a sneak preview. All right. Now, with that being said, some of you may not be aware that we've got this awesome community of highly experienced driven professionals. We are subject matter experts, thought leaders, business owners, founders, and beyond. And most of our geographic market is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania County, state of Delaware, New York, state of New Jersey. We do have business owners in other locations, but that is the core of who we are. I do want to share the mic as we've got about 8 minutes left in this call today. These are 25-minute power conversations to let you know that we are here to support you with your growth, connection, or development needs. So I'm going to look to see who's here live. Let's see who I want to call on first. Oh, Kaisha's still here. Nice to see you, but I know you're probably whistling while you're working, so you're just listening in. Thank you, Kaisha. Cleos and Janae, are either of you able to unmute and say hi? I'm going to give you just another second.
Sure.
Okay, Cleos, I'm going to give you about 90 seconds. Can you say hi to everyone and tell us what you do?
Hi, everyone. My name is Cleus Glory Young. I'm the founder and president of the Tabit Foundation. And what we do, we use the aviation principles, procedures, and philosophy to apply to the human life in a way that we are able to take people from where they are to a whole new destination with their life as it regards to their social issues. And we specifically specialize in trauma.
So, Cleos, can you tell us one of the challenges that you're facing as a business owner?
So one of the challenges that we're facing is actually looking at the root of what's going on right now. Everyone wants to get to the top, but it's like looking at it, they don't have a root. And I think some of the things that you have mentioned so far, the proper paperwork, that is vital. You can't operate as a business. That's like your the thing that roots you into who you are. So that's one of the challenges that I'm seeing that's going on.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, one of the things that I want to emphasize that we want to address in our Grow With Snow community is helping people to overcome their fear of paperwork. If you all indulge me for about 40 seconds, I saw a grant opportunity recently, and the introduction said, before you fill out this grant, it's going to take about 2 hours. Now, I've seen that before on grants, but the 2 hours really meant like 30, 35 minutes. Well, this grant took me 3 hours to apply for it. 7 times I wanted to quit. And so this is what sometimes we're up against as business owners, having patience and foresight about what's next versus the discomfort of the moment, getting more confident about filling out whatever's needed to be successful. So I thank you for that, Cleos. I'm going to bring on Janae. Johnny, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Hi, Michelle.
Hey there. Your turn.
Hi, so I'm Johnny McAllister. I'm the founder of the Black Women in Wellness Club, and I am a wellness coach, author, and doula. And within my business, I am working to bring women of color into the wellness space and having the confidence to take up space, to begin to learn what it is to take care of our bodies, to be able to continue to serve and continue to nurture all that we do. And right now, we're just in the stages of building partnerships to create memberships for our clients. And then I also am the author of She Who Shines Through, which is a book that I wrote about my struggles of being a Black female athlete. And I am looking to bring that into schools around middle school age, young ladies that I am now finding and hearing, sadly, that are struggling with a lot of insecurities, which has been leading to a lot of bullying and a lot of suicidal talk. So that's kind of where we are right now with the business.
Oh man. Powerful. Yeah, Cleo's, Janae, powerful. Both very real challenges that I know we're overcoming collectively. I like to speak here from a foundation. Barbie, Barbios, would you like to unmute? Okay. All right. I'm just give you one more second. If you want to unmute and say hi, we'll give you a moment to do that. If not, are there any nonprofit organizations that are here that like to say hello?
Hey, Michelle, I'm here.
I'll
Sorry.
take it away. You've got about a minute and a half, no more than 2 minutes.
Oh, sure. So, so I'm from Kensington Soccer Club. I'm the executive program director there. We are a non-traditional, unconventional club. We've adopted a pay what you can model. So all of the youth that we serve are able to engage in soccer for free. It's a youth development organization. So in addition to soccer, we also have enrichment programming, and we are pretty much open all year round. We run several programs. We have a juniors program that's a non-competitive soccer programming. We also have our competitive teams. We serve, I believe, 5-year-olds all the way up to adults. So I think like our oldest player is probably like 35 or 40. We're considering opening up a walking soccer program, which would then expand our program to like 45 and up, and for folks who have limited mobility. And so, like I said, we're open all year round. Our kids play competitively in Philadelphia and outside of Philadelphia. And I think that the main aspect of our program is that we're all about accessibility. We provide leadership programs for especially our teens. They engage in a KSC prep program, which is now something we're trying to do all year round as well. Initially, it was a 3-month program where they met 4 times a week and did an hour of enrichment and 3 hours of soccer 3 times a week, and they had games on Saturdays. Now it's going to be something where they meet all year round, and some of that year is just soccer. You know, they're in a league, a team league, like they will be this summer. And recently we got the violence prevention grant from the DA's office, so we'll be running some soccer programming for kids and are expanding our Friday Night Lights program for our teen and adults, which has a fair play emphasis and an anti-gun violence emphasis as well. So we're doing
I'm sorry, only because we're running out of time. Forgive me for cutting you off. I apologize. Let me just give you a second to just kind of make sure that everyone knows how to reach you, because your program is excellent. You are a friend of Grow With Snow, and we appreciate you. So if you could just tell them how we can reach you as well.
Oh, yeah, sure. So, I mean, our website, www.kensingtonsoccer.org, is a great place to start. And also, you can always email me. I can put it in the chat, but it's barbios@kensingtonsoccer.org.
Yes, that'd be perfect. That'd be
Yes.
perfect.
Thanks so
Thank
much, Michelle.
I'm glad that you were here. So we're 1 minute over, so we've got about maybe 90 seconds for those of you who can hang in there. Kiana, I'm going to give you a chance in about 30 seconds to say hello to everyone and let them know what you're doing.
Hey everyone, how are you? So my name is Kiana. I'm the owner of Keys Essentials, and we're a one-stop shop for becoming your best self on purpose. So I've specialized in helping people with self-improvement and self-love via fitness classes, empowerment events, inspirational apparel, and also health and wellness products. So I have Swap Meet Saturday, which is a flea market, which is this Saturday, everything under $20. I offer Zumba and twerk fitness classes. And then we have we have a store with my apparel in it on 60th Street, right in between Walnut and Locust. And I can be reached on Instagram at Sparks Kiana, which is my name. And then on Facebook at Kiana Sparks, or you can email me at keysessentials@mail.com.
So everyone, if you could, along with Kiana, please put your contact information in the chat. Nancy, you can go to the final slide actually, because we're done. We're a minute over. I do want to thank you all for coming out today to our first Unbreakable Leadership Trends conversation, where we want to remind you all that we are here to support you with the challenges that you have when you're talking about leadership development, training, connections, resources, partnerships. We have over 12 locations to serve you. If you're looking to have a meeting or a conference, we're tied to a nonprofit organization where we volunteer and go to your community to support you. I do also want to thank Kaisha Bonaparte for being here, who I mentioned in the last call, has known me since I was 4 years old. So we do believe in long-lasting, sustainable relationships. And I'm just grateful that you all are here. So thank you for being a part of the first 25-minute sessions to Grow with Snow. You are the best. You are my light and my sunshine. We are done for today. That is a wrap. Be sure to put that contact information in the chat. Woo! Miss Nancy, we did it. 3 back to back. We started at 11:30 a.m. with our education community, which was really awesome. We moved to 12 o'clock with our procurement and business community and government, and then we ended with our amazing business owners. So we're here to support you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a blessed, incredible, amazing day. Nancy, call me on my phone and let's close this out. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
See ya.